I'm Jennifer Nelson, and I'm a small business owner here in Bucks County. I run a ghostwriting business, and several years ago I moved from New Jersey to Pennsylvania because my boyfriend lived here. And he is a net zero guy, meaning his house is net zero. He has solar panels, he has a wood burning stove. He basically is very environmentally friendly. So over the years, he's tried to convince me to at least install solar panels. So a few years ago, the roof was aging and I replaced it. I did not want to put on solar panels on an old roof. So that was sort of the delay. But once that was done, he again said, why don't you now do solar panels? Price of electricity might go up. So I decided, sure, why not? It's an expensive investment, but he said he could help me. And so we were not able to get the tax credits because the installation happened in January of 2026, not December of 2025. But given how the last year the price of electricity has increased, it still is a good investment. So that motivated me to want them. I had to consider the fact of aesthetics. I wanted them to look nice. And as I looked around my neighborhood, not many people have solar panels. They all have new roofs. But so that was a big discussion. Exact Solar was the company that my boyfriend used, and I did not investigate any other companies. He was so happy with them. Their customer service with any issues that have arisen, he must have gotten his solar panels 7-8 years ago. So I thought, why would I consider somebody else? So Exact Solar was on my radar and called them, and they were very open to my questions and concerns, the two being what it would look like, and the other being I had had a friend who had had a miserable experience with solar panels with holes in the roof after a certain length of time, and so she had to remove them. Anyway, they assured me that wouldn't happen. That had been many, many, many years ago, and the technology had improved, so that ended up not being an issue. So we went forward, and I've been very pleased with the results. The bill now is zero. I'm very happy with how everything worked out with Exact Solar. Word of mouth. It really basically was my boyfriend, and he has worked with Exact Solar and wanted them to do some work on his community. He lives in an intentional community, so he had considered them for that as well. So, I think it's always nice to have somebody say, I love this company and they worked really well with me and we have had no issues. Or when we have had issues, they've resolved them. I didn't really do price comparison because I thought in the end, you'll have solar panels for 20, 25 years, 30 years, the life of the roof, from what I understand. So why quibble over price when it's such a long-term investment? Well, that was again John. John and he's very persuasive. And once he finds somebody he likes to work with, he'll promote them. I do think word of mouth is a very effective means for promoting a business, for getting business. But this company has been in business quite a few years, so it has a history, which is also important. Honestly, I wasn't initially convinced it was worth the investment. And so I had a few conversations and they could answer all my concerns because it is costly. It's more costly here than in places like Germany or China where the actual panels are cheaper, which I wish it would go down in the US, the cost of installation. But so it did take a little bit of time and I had to put aside money. And so it wasn't, just get it done right away. And they were always very open to my concerns. And they weren't overly aggressive in urging me to commit. Obviously they want business, but if it takes 1 week or if it takes 6 months, I had a feeling they would be there and make sure that all my concerns were addressed. Unfortunately, we couldn't get into the time frame of the tax credits, but they were very, very, very busy last year. So that was the only thing that would have been nice if we could have had it done before Christmas, but it's all good. So, I mean, it looked like a lot when they send all the literature, all the requirements, and all the inspections. I kept saying, well, why doesn't the township only come once? I think they had to come twice. But you don't have to be there, and give them a code to the garage where the box is. And it really was quite easy. And the township, when they did come and require my presence to sign a paper that everything was fine, they were here 5 minutes. So it wasn't a lengthy inspection. So I think it was very positive. And they've obviously been in business 20 years. They have the process down pat to make it as easy for the homeowners as possible. I didn't work with the installation team. I think I was working, don't need to be at home. So I think I came home and they were putting them on. They looked great, they looked professional, but they had a job to do. Last thing you want is to have a homeowner come and start to say, oh, are you putting them on right? And things like that. So I did not do that. And they did a fantastic job. We talked about the layout of the solar panels because aesthetics were important to me, given that I just put in a new roof that looked fantastic. And I'm thinking, okay, what are the solar panels going to look like on my nice new roof? And I think it almost looks better with them because they match. They're black, the roof is black. It just was something that I was very happy with, the look at the end. And I wish my neighbors would do more of these solar panels just to help our environment a bit. And cost of electricity. They do promote them as lasting the lifetime of the roof, which is about 25 years. Well, I guess I don't worry about turning down the air conditioning to 68 or instead of 70, because I figure that it's going to be probably a zero bill, given that my solar panels get a lot of sun. Also, I should mention is this was an ideal house to have solar panels because there's no big trees overlooking the roof. Some houses have more trees. My trees are more in the backyard. So this was ideal. And also I feel, like I mentioned earlier, we can all try to help our environment a little bit, and solar panels are one way. Could help with CO2 emissions, impact global warming a little bit. I think the first few months it wasn't, but they kept telling me, oh, don't worry if it doesn't go down to zero, but now it's zero. And that is a real plus. So instead of opening a bill and saying, oh no, my electricity bill is, I don't know, $220. How did that happen? You look at your bill, you think, oh, is it going to be zero again? And given that it's been zero for a few months now, well, before I wasn't sure what the cost would be. And it had risen a lot since I've been here, the last 2 years, I would say. And for me, that helps me out a great deal because small business owners don't know exactly what business will be coming. So knowing that the electricity bill is very low, if not zero, makes me feel a bit less anxious, on meeting expenses as the business grows. But yes, I think it's an interesting process. They have an app that occasionally I consult so you can see how they're doing on any specific day, and that's useful. Yeah, I would strongly encourage it. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, I did have hesitations because of the cost, the initial investment. But I do think that if you are at a certain income level and you can't afford them, they are something that will help financially over the years. I think a return on investment is 7-8 years. And also environmentally, just good for our planet. So I would encourage people to consider it.